And also consider me interested in what these players are going to pick for their home maps. So, Yippip goes for Gold Rush. Smurf.
And then the flip side, we got Chaos Pit.
It's a brave pick, especially considering the skill difference, or at least the rating difference between these two players.
So I think when you are a lower rated player, you always have to try and go for something a little bit off meta. And, try and surprise the higher rated player as much as you can. So we'll see if Scarabanga does have something planned for Chaos Pit.
Yeah.
And then we have the banning system to get to game 1, of course, which is a fantastic system. Set maps are absolute ass, have no place in tournaments. This is just a great system of finding a mutually exclusive way for both players to say, okay, we'd maybe like to play that map as game 1. They may not necessarily love it, but they may have a slight mutual like of it.
Which map do I hate the least?
Exactly.
My favorite technique for picking anything.
And if you're really clever about it, you can the way you ban them, you can almost get a second home map out of it, depending on what you have your first and second bans, and there's certain ways you can work it for sure. So you're not maybe getting your second preferred map, but maybe your third or fourth out of a 9 is still good, and that might be the third or fourth preferred map for the opponent as well. So I think it's a good system. It's a good system.
So is this going to be Golden Swamp Band? Yes!
Yes, it is. It is.
Deep hate of water there from Scarabanga. Any water is enemy.
Land Madness, Beach Fight and Dry River, all from Yippip, Cape of Storms Islands and Golden Swamp. So nearly all the water maps getting banned out from Scarabanga, so that kind of gives a little idea of his playstyle and what he doesn't want to do for any future games.
Yeah. Boat's not his friend, which is bemusing when you're in a LAN madness. Landlubbers. He is a full landlubber. That's what he is. He's the epitome of a landlubber. Yeah. Landlubber Scarabanga. Let's go.
And we're going to be starting with Hideout, game number 1 then.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Well, we'll see what the players do want to ban off the bat. You can have different techniques of what you want to try and ban. You can either play civs, or you can try and ban civs that are particularly OP and you hate playing, or you can do your research and actually look at what your opponent likes to play on AoE Nexus, something like that, and you can try and ban civs that are maybe well liked by them, or you can also just play to the maps.
I think having to do a little mix of the two, but for people that are knocking around kind of 1400 to 1200, tends to be players that have a strong core civ selection, and so banning those in tournaments can really throw them off kilter. Mayans is a ban, very strong. Ethiopians, Franks, these are the core strong civs that most people get very familiar with and have a decently high win rate with. So
Spanish is a ban coming in there, really, and Spanish isn't particularly a civ that are OP, but if the opponent does get to Castle Age and has conquistadors moving around over the map, then they can be extremely obnoxious and not very nice to deal with. So I can kind of understand why Spanish would be a ban for somebody in that one.
In Spanish, they're a pretty decent hideout civ, I think. I like them for their ability to go for a castle drop with a strong, unique unit that backs it up. I think that's a pretty good play on hideout.
Yeah, you probably need the map control first, which would be a little bit of an issue. Maybe Spanish Archers you're maybe having to invest in, but for sure there is something there. You don't want, if you don't like playing against Spanish, go ahead, ban them. There's just certain civs some people do not like to play, which is understandable. Bulgarians off first.
I like Bulgarians as a pick. I think that Bulgarians are a really, really good hideout civ. I think Britons are a really good hideout civ. I think Britons are a great gold rush civ. So Scarabanga, he's got some civs that I really like the look on at least 2 of these maps. Tatars, decent Chaos Pit. Khmer, decent hideout.
I'm thinking more Bulgarians for Chaos Pit. Especially that 3 mana arms can be really nice, and it's almost like Socotra, the beginning, but you're still having to chop out at the same time. But it's a lot of, it's in the name, right? It's Chaos Pit. There is a lot of madness that does go on. in the opening stages. The only thing that would hold back Bulgarians is the lack of eco bonus early. Celts are very, very good, strong. Civ for Chaos Pit.
Bengalis, first of the new civs.
Yeah, we got them.
First one that we cast, somebody picks the Bengalis. Now I've got to hope that they get actually picked into the game.
I don't know what we could potentially see them here. Bengalis are the civ that do get the 3 extra villagers on the age up. That's correct. I'm pretty sure that's correct. So they have a pretty strong eco, pretty good on water maps. But the thing is with these new civs, it's going to be, it's really going to reward people that are going out and actually testing the maps and, kind of working out what these civs are able to do. The only question mark is like, how well do they match up against the more traditional civs and ones that are more well proven? So I think players are going to have to do their due diligence there and really experiment.
Polls
for Chaos Pit? Potentially.
Is a choice? Is a choice?
Bell Rush?
I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it.
I wouldn't mind it.
Break up the day.
I wouldn't mind Scarabanga just picking the Persians here just for the risk. Just let them know. Hindustanis it is though.
Okay. Okay. That's... So Scarabanga, I'm hoping that he's actually going to pick these and not that he's just gone, I'm going Bulgarians, Britons and Berbers and I don't care about my last 2 picks because I'm only going to pick Bulgarians, Britons or Berbers.
Which isn't unusual, you just kind of mind game a little bit, pick your best 3 civs and you only play your first 3, but it certainly gives you some options, and Poles and Britons got sniped. Interesting to snipe the 5th choice. Again, that's maybe, that's when you're sniping the 5th pick, you're more working towards your own personal preference instead of your opponent's. If the opponent is generally going to pick their strongest civ first, second, and third. But if you're sniping at number 5, you're like, nope, I don't want to play them.
Scarabanga when I panicked a bit at the end of the draft, so so it's panic picks. It's panic picks.
Yeah.
Love it.
So Hideout, I would be guessing Britain's there, but obviously Britons are gone now. So for game number 1, I'm not too sure. I think Berbers would be getting used in Gold Rush, Bulgarians in Chaos Pits. I'm kind of trending towards 2 of the Indian civs for Scarabanga on that one. What are you thinking for Yippip?
Well, I mean, if Yippip was going Hideout, you could either go for Khmer or probably Burgundians for me. Burgundians, they've got a solid boom, plenty of options there, and I don't think they do too bad against sort of any of the civs that Yippip's going to face. So I'd probably go for Burgundians.
Khmer would be nice in Hideout as well. You can go straight for the edges and having to build those buildings on the way up is pretty damn nice. I don't know what for Gold Rush, just with the hill in the middle, of course. Probably trending towards Tatars.
Yeah, I was about to say Tatars, they get the... Oh, they don't get the hill bonus anymore? They used to, right? That was a thing that happened once upon a time.
No, they still have the hill bonus.
So that's at least something.
Yeah.
I think the maneuverability would be really good for it. So I'm thinking... For me, Khmer for Chaos Pit, Burgundians for Hideout, and Tatars for Gold Rush for your pit picks. I think that's what I would guess.
I'm going to go Japanese for Chaos Pit.
Okay. I like it.
And it's play all 3, of course, so we're going to see all 3 of the maps. It's not a best of 3, so you're always going to get a chance to play your whole map, which is nice. I mean, it's nice for the viewer and the casters. Maybe not so nice for the player if you get clapped 3-0 and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that'd be awful. Imagine getting clapped 3-0.
I wasn't meant to lose that game.
Yeah. Anyway, we should watch a game.
We should, shouldn't we? Oh, shouldn't have seen that. Okay, well, it's gone. No, he's still pouring. Okay, game number 1 then. Hideout it is, and Yippip has went for Khmer, so not much of a surprise there, and it is Bengalis for Scarabanga is going to be playing in the orange. You wouldn't mind changing the orange to the red, please, Grant. The orange can be a little bit difficult to see in the mini-map. Thank you very much.
Lovely.
Yeah, Bengali. So we'll see what Scarabanga has prepared, and we'll see how Yippip actually kind of reacts to this Civ choice.
So I can't. I'm not expecting a huge amount of Yippip super early aggression. Then going for that fast castle up. Then if we're going for Khmer, which is unfortunate, that means that the start of this game maybe not the most important thing in the world.
Yeah, well, the advancement to Castle Age for Khmer is highly accelerated. You can get in the Castle Age in that kind of 30-minute mark, and you're just going straight on to Knights most likely. So we'll see what Yippip does want to do. You can also do a pretty sick Boom and Feudal Age and whatnot, and all through the Castle Age into Imperial Age with their farms. I really like Hideout for early aggression, actually. I feel like the palisade walls and the gates give you such a false sense of security.
They're so tricksy.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many civs that can get through so easily. Persians, Saracens, any man-at-arms civ, man-at-arms towers, so Teutons. Like, Hideout is a map where, because it feels so defensive, it's so easy to get absolutely thrown for a loop and crushed really quickly.
Yeah.
So much so that you never actually reach Castle Age. Anyway.
Yeah, and it's... I don't know, like, going for an FC for me is always super risky, but I think with Khmer, you're going to get there so early, it's not as much it's less of a risk, you know what I mean? We're having to see Scarabanga actually send in one of the goats, because Yippip's, he was keeping the gate open with one of the sheeps, and now he's going to chase him down, actually. I think you maybe just leave him. If you're going to push deer, you're going to push deer, but he's going to leave him. The map script. On you go, Tom.
Yeah, it's a bit of free base scouting and delayed the push in of the hunt, so that was quite useful. And Yippip is now going to be wary of trying to push the hunt in, so might not even bother.
Yeah. So the map script, I think most of the time does generate with the deer on the outside of the walls, but I think there is a chance it could be on the inside too. That's one thing you do got to notice. In Hideout, it's very normal for it to be on the inside. It's just a little bit more micro in the Dark Age and whatnot, so it'll certainly be a little bit more challenging for lower-rated players when they're on the outside. Having the sheep there and whatnot, and it's just a longer distance to cover. And it will certainly be a little bit easier. I don't know if easier is the right word, but it'll be a little bit normal for the higher-rated players to do. You can see this deer's not really cooperating getting through the gate.
I feel this, and yet he's pushing it in. He's bringing the elephant in as well at the same time. It's a lot to do.
It's a lot to do.
It's got skills. All of that only causing 21 seconds of idle TC time. Amazing.
Yeah. We do have elephants as well, of course, which do have more food than a boar. So that's another thing you got to look out for.
Is that the script for this particular version of Hideout? Is that a LAN Madness special?
Yeah.
I like it.
So they get 60 extra food on an elephant versus a boar. 340 versus 400.
Which is a man-at-arms right there. So
yeah, that's a lot of food.
That's 2 man-at-arms for the extra elephants. We take that.
That's a lot of food, man. Like, you really do notice it. It'll make things a little bit easier for the lower level, for sure. You'll be like, oh, I've actually got a good bit more food, but it'll also really help the players that do prepare and are able to work with that extra amount of resources. Scarabanga going for the long lure. Good man. And beautiful.
It works.
Yeah.
It's so... There's something real satisfying about when the hunt actually goes directly to the TC and is like, yeah, this is fine. You can kill me here. I love being here under the TC. So rare.
Deciding to go in. Is he going to blame the goats?
No, he's just attacking.
He's just attacking the house, and he's going to get walled in here. I don't really like that move. I think it's fine for Scarabanga to actually just delete the wall, and he's going to be in. Does he have Loom? Doesn't have Loom. Yippip could take the Vil. Take the Vil. If you get in front of it and you just try and block as much as you can.
That's so funny.
Yippip's probably going to lose his scout now, so I didn't like the move going in there. And he is up in 23 pops, so looking like 23 plus to try and get the fast castle with 2 on gold.
I think it's okay if you're causing a nuisance. Like, the best thing that you can do with the scout in this situation is get as much information about what is going on inside the bases. But this is not good. This is not good. Don't trap the scout. Get as much info as possible. Explore the base. Be a bit of a nuisance. Maybe stop some buildings being built by like putting your scout in the way of where you think they're going to be. That kind of thing.
So Yippip's really got to notice what's going on, because the one thing that isn't inside Scarabanga's base is the buildings. He's got 3 militia out already, so the barracks is way off to the right-hand side. So he's really got to notice what villagers are under resources and try and work out what the opening's going to be from Scarabanga here, because he can't see that barracks.
Great plays. Scarabanga's doing really, really well. Isn't up mind, but, you know, he's doing okay.
Yeah, he's kind of... those militia have been made for a while, so definitely a little bit distracted with the scout. Would have liked him to be a little bit earlier. He also has the food to click up. We're now on to 27 villagers. That's almost fast imp.
Hideout drush.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a hideout drush. Like,
well, we are still in 11 minutes, so that's part of the issue. We'd maybe just been a little bit distracted and wanted to go for a man-at-arms, which is quite common. But yeah, we've still got all this food. The TC's idle now, so it's starting to rise. It's not going to cause too much issues here for Yippip.
Yippip's like, oh god, they've got to be turning into man-at-arms at any second. It's like, nah, mate, it's fine. It's just militia. You could go out there and kill them. like this is some heavy defensive walling to really stop those incredibly powerful militia getting in. And Castle Age is on the way at the same time as the feudal click up.
The houses is definitely a little bit of an overreaction, and that kind of cost does add up. So just palisades behind the militia would have been absolutely fine. It saves you a lot of wood.
But it's fine, because for the Khmer, every house is another place for the villagers to hide in. So, I mean, whatever.
If we were going to see like godlike micro, like Yippip could delete the palisade behind the house, hop in, and then like quick gate Scarabanga, and that's what I'd be looking for.
Sounds exactly like Yippip. I hear he's got the godlike micro. Oh, Scarabanga is going to see this Castle Age land and go, ah, shit. Right there, if I was playing on ladder, that's when I'd immediately GG. If my opponent hits Castle Age before I fully land in feudal comfortably, that's it. I'm gone. I'm out.
Yeah, I think Scarabang is probably quite aware of how delayed he is. We're nearly into feudal age and it's 14 minutes, so it has, it's taken its time. Yippip does have a lot of food, but if he wants to go for knights, he's pretty much got next to nothing in the bank. I think his villagers that were doing the walls came off gold, so he doesn't really have enough rest to do anything apart from scouts, which is not ideal when you're about to arrive. And he's actually going for a range. Really surprising.
What? Yeah, what is he going for a range for? He's not on gold, so he still can't make archers. He can make skirmishers. Yeah, great skirts. What is Yippip doing? Just boom, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to make like one archer to clear up the militia instead of doing all the walls. I'm just trying to put myself in his shoes, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, but it's a lot of food that's not going to be utilised for a while because he's only going to be on 2 TCs. Yeah, I think he's just going to make one archer just to clear up the militia. I think that's his thinking behind it.
Oh, do Khmer get... No, Khmer don't get the elephant archers, do they? Do they?
No, but they get ballista elephants, which are way more pog, and the real style points here would be making ballistas and cutting all the way through the middle part of wood to get to Scarabanga, which is doable.
I would love to see that.
You could even like cut just towards the edge, so you don't cut all the way through, and then you put like mangonels there as well, and you can have some micro war.
Just gonna delicately readjust the game sounds.
Yeah, I think both players are just gonna commit to booming for quite a while here. By the looks of it. Yippip should be able to get his first TC down pretty damn soon. Still has a lot of food in the bank. Scarabang is on the way up, getting double eco upgrades now as well, which is great. gonna get 2 more villagers when he arrives, because farming eco's looking pretty good, but you could do a few more in wood, just to get these extra TCs up when he arrives.
He's not super far behind. Like he's okay. Like, the militia were at least enough of an irritating nuisance to take a few villages and cause a bit of idle eco time. Like, they did something.
Oh, they did, for sure.
I'm not sure they were necessarily worth it, but they did something, even if they maybe shouldn't have existed, and maybe we should have been up earlier.
Yeah, I think the main issue for Scarabanga was just he had the resources and everything to click up, he just hadn't done it as, like, I don't think the execution was, like, a little bit off. I don't think the strategy was all that bad. Like, unless you were in the barracks for a while, just kind of hanging out, drinking some beers before they went to war.
That's an interesting TC.
It is. It should be a little bit close, but there is a big hill there, which is not ideal.
Hill, yeah.
Yeah. Fucking hills, man.
Fucking hills. Did you see the Spirit of the Law video about hills and building placement? That was very interesting. I learned
I did not.
I learned a lot of very useless information from that. There's a strange way how some buildings will let you build them on a hill, and then other buildings won't. And how castles can seem to be on some parts of a hill, and not other parts. It was very enlightening. And I have immediately forgotten all of the important details of that. But each time it happens to me, I'm like, I understand now. But I don't remember, but I understand.
Yeah.
I recommend everybody goes and watch that. That's a good video.
Check it out. We get 3 TCs apiece for each player, but Yippip's, he's had the head start on it, and he's already got a villager lead of 8. So a lot of it's going to be down to idle time now. And we do have 2 elephant archers out already from Scarabanga, and he already invested into Bodkin, which I'm not too sure about. I think if you're going to be getting these upgrades, they are expensive, so you want to be coming forwards and doing some damage. I think you either commit to the boom, or you commit to some cheaper military, maybe not elephant archers, which are relatively expensive, especially if you're getting upgrades as well.
So, I hear that skirmishes are still the counter for elephant archers, but because of the amount of health, elephant archers still do okay. So Yippip is clearly gone. I'm expecting elephant archers. I'm going into skirm.
Yeah, the best thing's actually pikemen or halbs. Halbs absolutely wreck them if they're able to get close. And it doesn't take a lot, Elephant archers are very slow. All I need is like another unit just to tank them, and like halbs melt elephant archers.
Tell that to me and Grandy trying to fight the AI. It's not fair.
But yeah, skirms are good as well. There seems to be a lot of the trash units are very good against these new units, the Dynasties of India's. Some of the unique units get wrecked by trash as well.
They're so strong in mass. When they're low numbers, they are kind of weak. They're vulnerable to masses of trash. But if you get 30, 40 fucking elephants backed up with anything else, whether that's a small group of stuff in the middle or siege, if you got elephants and siege, if you manage to have the absurd eco required for that, there are very few things that can deal with it. Maybe mass... Will mass scorpions do okay against elephant archers? I don't know.
I don't know. It's not something I've seen a lot of. I don't. No. It depends on the upgrades and the scorpions and whatnot, and what kind of scorpions they are. And of course, we do have Khmer being played just now, who are one of the best scorpion civs. Probably, well, them and Celts. I don't know who's going to be the best scorpion civ, but Khmer Scorps, when fully upgraded, are absolutely pogchamp and beautiful to see. Castle being dropped from Yippip. Are we going to see ballistas?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Though it's quite a defensive castle. A lot of the map control has gone straight to Scarabanga. Score has also gone to Scarabanga. Eco, definitely in Yippip's favour, but not so significantly that I think that this is in a position for the game to be called. Like, Scarabanga, considering he was so late up, this is okay. I would not. Yeah. I think he's doing really, really well. There's a lot of caliber at the back of Scarabanga that you got to respect.
You can see the idle TCs pretty much went up the exact same for both players as well. And arriving to Castle Age, it was around about 1.5 to 2 minutes for both.
Yeah.
And it's scaled pretty much the exact same. Scarabanga is maybe just a few more villagers behind now, but still within touching distance. More range is coming down as well. You can see that both players' eco balance is a little bit off.
Yeah.
Both of them really floating a lot of gold because they've been on it for so much time. I wouldn't mind to see a bit of market balance, just to invest in some wood or some food to keep the TCs running, or some wood to drop some more farms, but
It's
not something you want to do in the long term.
That both of them have pretty much identical ecos. Like they're both equally just that little bit off, and the only difference between the two of them in Vil numbers is that there's some on stone for Yippip and none on stone for Scarabanga, and that's it. The eco is pretty much 1 for 1. It's so close. These fucking tank elephants, though, are absurd.
Yes, the siege elephants are a funny unit. Funny unit to watch.
The fact that they do splash damage to units as well, like, they are cracked. They're absolutely broken. You can use them to raid villages.
Their attack rate is so fast. It really is. Just wait to see how they melt through walls, especially palisades.
I think they are due. They will be due a nerf of some kind, because.
Oh boy, that's a lot of food to buy.
Well, there you go. He did that thing that you wanted him to.
Yeah, he certainly did. I don't know if there's a lot of food, and just after getting scale mill armor and bloodlines to Yippip, so probably a good idea to click up first and then get the upgrades. But you need to have the eco to support units, of course. You want to be upgrading units when you get to Imperial Age, and there's no units out yet, so we still need to have the eco to have the production. But he's looking to go for some sneaky stables on the left-hand side here.
I think he'll get spotted. Like, this will get seen. They're on top of one another.
Should do. Unless the leopard has God's work here.
Ah!
Is it going to do it?
Yeah!
Yes!
Woo, 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 it's going.
Woo, woo, woo. And then, that's really big, actually. That's just going to be such a distraction. Send one more villager down there. Maybe, what about a change of plan?
But when will Yippip actually notice that? It seems like there wasn't really a response. Either he completely ignored it. Yeah, he's deleted it. He went, oh fuck, shit died. Okay.
I feel like it wouldn't be a bad idea if Scarabanga is trying to get this push down to one side with very slow immobile units. Just try and wall off the other side. Get some stone walls down and wall it off. Protect your flank, because Yippip is going to have mobility if he's going for light cav, and it's going to be he's still going to be very open with Scarabanga at home with the palisades. It doesn't take a lot to get in through the walls.
I feel like that's got to be what he must have been going for initially, was to try and wall that area off.
Man, I was going to say, that scout could get a lot of value there if the Elfin Archer was a little bit further forward, but interesting comp here. Full Skirm from Yippip at the moment. He's trying to get onto Hussar. And House of Mangonel Micro, 1 for 1 in the moment.
Okay.
And somehow Yippip was hacking there and does get away eventually.
I told you, Yippip's a smurf. He's a goddamn smurf. Even though he's there rocking at kind of just under 1400, Yippip has an awful lot of tournament experience. Like, I feel like Yippip is the kind of player that normally is the underdog in tournaments and has spent so much time playing in tournament settings against players who are higher rated than he is and doing really quite well. So to actually end up in a position where he is the favoured player from a ratings point of view is probably very strange for him, because he's used to getting clapped a lot and then winning. So this makes for a really interesting matchup, because I think Scarabanga's done really, really well.
Yeah, he has. Like, and do you know what? I really respect the balls in this guy to play someone that's higher than you and go for full elephant units. This guy has some big balls.
Snuffle's summing me up so fucking. Yippip, you've got to remember, I'm a professional. This This one time, I watched some of your games. Just this one time.
So, still kind of waiting on the Hussar spam starting. It seems like... I think I would have preferred more villagers from Yippip or some more military in the Castle Age instead of going for this Imperial Age, because we've not really had too many Imperial Age upgrades come in yet. We did have Hussar, but not many Hussar on the field. You can just kind of see he's very closed in at the moment. He is feeling the pressure. There's a lot of wood floating, and he's not...
walls.
That's good from
With his
Scarabanga.
outpost.
I love it. And the castles were very defensive as well, so he's struggling to kind of get out of this area here.
We're getting up to a like we're starting to get up to a pretty big mass of elephant archers. As soon as we get past like 30, that is so hard to deal with. So like keep an eye on that, because the elephant archers are so scary, especially when they're landed in and they get upgraded. Like broken
Oh
now.
god. Oh my god. Okay. That's not gonna work. Good man. Drop some farms. Yep. Love to see it. Don't need to get a mill down. All good. Working more.
Oh, that's interesting. I love
Bill.
that.
Ooh.
He's thrown down two stones to stop the wall being completely completed.
Just make a siege tower, man.
There's that too. But like, if he's quiet about it, right? Scarabanga might not notice that those aren't his walls. Like, that would be so sneaky, right? If he manages to hold at the front and then quietly just deletes his walls later on.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. But hey, he snuck his build through. Scarabanga doesn't know. Sniping all of the siege, and we probably need another unit in the comp for Yippip. Like, just Skirm won't be enough soon.
Yeah, he's defending at the moment. I think Scarabanga's going to be up to Imperial Age in the next 20 seconds. Just, keep a hold of your units so you can get some upgrades for them when you arrive into him. The sneak stables are going to be massive for Yippip, because Scarabanga has all of his... Does he have any buildings at home in terms of military to defend? Like, he's going to have to do a big reaction, so...
Like,
he's incredibly open. Yeah,
defend with monks.
I think if Yippip just tries to get another stable down, try and mass up like 15-20 Hussar, and I don't trickle them in, don't give your opponent time to react to it, get a good number.
Oh, it's so close!
It is, that is unbelievably close. Yikes.
Like, that could
top gamer in there.
That could be the game winner, considering like how close Scarabanga was to fully walling. And he is trickling them in, and he spots it immediately. Look at the reaction on that. It was like, snap, done.
Yep, initial reaction's good. So now we got to see some barracks get dropped.
Oh, and notice the walls as well, so goes to wall them off. Scarabanga has just joy-cocked us. Ah.
And Yippip is also just going for full trash defense at home as well. Would love to see a Treb or two just get trickled out as well. Starting to balance his eco a little bit better. 45 on wood, nearly 50 on farms, 28 on gold. Both players have had some real housing issues the last kind of 5 minutes into the game. Scarabanga was housed on 135 for so long, and Yippip, he's dropping all these houses now as well, so the production hasn't been great for both players. Do we see any barracks at home for Scarabanga? I'm not seeing anything on the screen at the moment. Yeah, no reaction, which is not good.
Hey, what is Scarabanga gonna do? Like, he's got to this point, he's in him. What's his...
We got
what's
one
his
spearman
game
to defend, it's all good. Hey, it's all good, we got one spearman to defend. We do have a Treb out. Doing a little bit of a trickle Treb, but... all the upgrades coming in now for the Elfin Archers, but... the Skirm upgrades are coming in as well.
The massive Skirms it's just able to snipe them one by one. Here's the thing, it's like you actively have to like snipe the elephants one by one. You can't just sort of like leave them to attack because they're so damn tanky.
Yeah, they really are, but the full trash play should be absolutely fine. Skirms do good. Do good. Scarabanga's got to be really careful that he's not focusing all of his energy in this forward position. and not noticing what's going on at home. Because
I mean,
before he knows it, his pop's going to be down at like 120.
he has noticed, but it's definitely gonna have an effect because effectively we can trickle these Hussar in. Like we can. Every little bit of idle nuisance that they're causing, they're so tanky as well because they've got their upgrades.
Every little bit of idle, we're nearly up to 50 idle villagers. It's starting to go back down. There's certainly a lot of idle going on. Yippip's going for siege ram. Where are the siege workshops here? Is that towards the sneak buildings in the northwest?
I think so.
I think it would be. Yeah, it is. Okay, so ram hussar there should be pretty decent and just wiping up the buildings and dealing as long as the hussar spam does remain. Nearly up to 40 farms now. If we could just drop, take another 20 villagers off wood, get some farms dropped, and then the spam could be real.
I mean, what do you back up these elephants with? Because we've started to lose the elephant mass. We've been idled at home. We're going to lose this forward position. There's still nothing supporting them other than some light cav, and full trash is sort of dealing with that.
Yeah, it's a difficult position. We're going to probably need some other siege behind it.
Yeah.
Which is, it's an expensive thing to do.
It's possibly a bit. Well, I'm saying it's a bit too late. We've got 2k wood and we've got 500 gold, so we could be getting a small mass of some siege, probably some. I don't know how good their scorpions are. Something like that, though.
But why if I said the new Bengalis get Onager, but I'm pretty sure they get Onager. Most of the new ending civs, of course, don't get Bomber Cannon, which can be a little bit problematic. Bengalis might be the one that do get it. But yeah, just mass trash here, and 4 traps now out for Yippip, and what looks like he's going to push us back.
And it is. I think this is a little past the beginning of the end for position. Yippip can probably afford to start scaling his eco back a little bit now that he's getting into the position of having nearly 150 bills.
Yeah, and he's going to be pretty happy to start pushing back on this right hand side now. That wall off on the left is just great. Castle on the wood line now as well, which is quite a common thing to do in Hideout. If you don't notice it, you can lose a hell of a lot of villagers, and you're not always looking here at this point in the game. We'll see how many villagers do go down. I'm going to say about 20. And that can really be a final killer blow. And Yippip has ballistics, and he has bracer and chemistry, so that's fantastic for the shooting down the villagers.
This is it, right? Like this is the point where the G's get G'd. You've lost your push on the front. You're being hit from the side. Neither of your walls are in any place to stop anything. You've lost your entire wood line near enough. Dropping down to 100 vils when we were at 140 a second ago. They get heavy scorpion, they do. They're looking at the civ tree right now. Their siege is okay. Onager, not siege onager. Siege elephant, obviously, and heavy scorpion, which I don't think heavy scorpion necessarily would have been that bad of a play to support the elephants.
Just a big investment in terms of wood and food. Not the easiest thing to switch into by any means. It is certainly starting to look at the beginning of the end. Yippip's nearly pop cap. Scarabanga down to 123 and Pop is what wins your games at this point. It's going to be a real difficult pushback, but Yippip's got to kill him. Yippip still has to do his job.
Needs to close it out.
And that's always when I cast around about the 1k to like the 1300, maybe even below. That's always the one thing that players struggle with the most, I feel. As being able to close games out. And the one thing that really helps with closing games out is just having a siege support behind things as well. Clear out the buildings. Don't give them an excuse to feel like they deserve to still be in the game. Yeah. People can just trade units for units all day long and just keep throwing things at it. But siege is really important to just close out games.
Siege and hitting the economy. Like if you get to the point where your opponent can't make anything because they got no resources left. Then the game is over, especially if you've got something. And
you can see when you go Tom.
Yeah, we're not far off from that at all. Ult is gone.
And Scarabanga still has a shit ton of wood and food there, so he's probably thinking, like, I'll just keep on playing until this all runs out.
It's a good tournament play though, right? Like, especially game one, you drag it out as long as you can, as long as you're not going to tilt yourself. You know, the aim of tournaments is to outmind game your opponent, and if you can maintain a better mentality in a loss and exhaust your opponent by making them have to constantly think about stuff, that's not a bad thing. I don't necessarily think that's what's happening here, but
No.
it is a thing.
I don't know. I would just prefer if they would just spend the resources. That would be my ultimate preference instead of having them all banked. Especially when you're not pop capped. It's very common to start banking resources if you've got 200 pop, but if you're down at 125, you ideally want to be having this all spent on something. You see, the production is not exactly large right now for Scarabanga. There's only 6 militia in the queue and nothing else. Oh, 13 militia. I'm looking for some.
There we go. Look at that. He uses the market. Market abuse is en route. I mean, he will clear up most of this left-hand side, but will lose his entire right.
Where's the champions going to be going? Still a decent amount of skirms out, and there's also going to be hand cannons out as well, so that really should be the final nail in the coffin for Scarabanga, because champion isn't exactly the easiest switch to do. It does cost quite a bit of food. Not crazy expensive in gold, but having to get all the upgrades now, and hand cannons will do absolutely fine.
The upgrades to get there is massive. Not that the hand cannons are in a particularly large mass or anything, but this is over. This is done with a cherry on top. Scarabanga has played a pretty darn good game, actually, to stay into this point and to have it be as competitive as it was. I think part of that might have been a bit of hesitance from Yippip to sort of do anything particularly aggressive. Just focusing on having a decent enough eco and defending, and effectively using his experience to outplay his opponent. Played it very, very safe, I would say.
Did play it very safe, yeah. Under 100 pop now, that's pretty much the final nail in the coffin. Would be expecting a GG in the next couple of minutes. Ryder did say kind of weird to you guys that banned the new DLC says for turning. Trust me, we did debate this quite a bit, whether it'd be included or not, and there wasn't really a whole lot of evidence to show that we're going to be OP by any means, especially with the Rise of the Elephants tournament, which was a $5,000 tournament, which did have them all in there and had to get played, and they weren't very impressive there, to be honest. So I want to see them actually work well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, which has not really been happening yet.
And I think there is definitely scope for them to be really interesting. They probably do need some more tweaks. But of all of the civs that have been added to the game, these Indian civs have felt like they balance in naturally more than any other civ that has been added in years. Like, especially compared to the last two. Like, these haven't been problematic. They don't feel broken. They feel like they're using both a couple of new mechanics and some slightly new civ styles, but overall, I'm pretty happy with them.
Yeah.
Especially as we've lost the Indians as a civ to get these new civs.
Yeah, that's for sure. And some of the old, like the newer introduced civs that are now older civs, like Bohemians, were just hyper crazy on certain maps like Arena and whatnot, which... Yeah. I don't like that, bringing in new civs. I understand that some civs will be extremely good on a certain map, but yeah, a little bit difficult to balance, and these new civs don't seem like that, which is good, I think.
GG, well played. A fantastic game one. Really, compared to what I just played for mine, Scarabanga and Yippip, what an interesting matchup. Really excited to see more of them today. Like, genuinely. I think that'll be great.
Nearly an hour-long game.
Oh! I finished all my booze in that.
No, jeez. The players aren't warmed up after that one. They never will be. What do you like, Tom? Do you like playing a long game for a game one, or do you like to just try and get in there and win fast?
If the game ever reaches late Castle Age and my opponent hits Imp, then it's already over for me. The late game is not my friend, and I do find that the sort of early small unit engagements that you get in feudal and early Castle Age are the bit of the game that I find the most interesting, where the eco is on a knife's edge, right? Where just to get those units out to balance the eco, balance the aggression with being able to get your click up is I think it's a really interesting part of Age of Empires that very few other strategy games land for me in the same way. Then the late game happens and it's like watching deathmatch, and I love deathmatch, so it's fine.
Feudal Age always oh my god, that's always the most difficult stage for me, and that's why I play maps where Feudal Age is accelerated, so all good about that. Next map then will be Chaos Pit, I believe.
Yeah, we're going into Scarabanga's home pick. We've lost Khmer, we've lost Bengalis, we've not got Britons or Poles. I was clearly wrong, so that means that if we're going into Chaos Pit, you think Japanese.
I think Japanese and Bulgarians.
I think Bulgarians as well. And I thought Khmer would be a great pick for Chaos Pit because of the ability to hop into houses, having a strong eco, being able to make feudal military, but no, Khmer are gone, so Japanese, why not? Let's go.
Yeah, potentially. Maybe it does have something planned for Burgundians in terms of getting bit axe really early, so you can do that chop through, which wouldn't surprise me, which would be kind of nice. But Burgundians are one of these civs that are just kind of awkward to really play, to be honest. You know, I think it's a lot harder at a lower level where people don't really have the timings kind of worked out. It can be a little bit more challenging. But when you see like 1800, 1900, 2K plus years, and we're like, wow, these guys can actually be really strong in terms of like the timing of when to go for bit axe because they don't play standard whatsoever in comparison to other civs.
I mean, I'd love to see. They're such a strange civ.
They really are, yeah. Especially with the unique techs.
And like one of the weirdest unique units in the game. Like, I hate. Like, what do you do? Countered by siege. Fuck you! What do you mean, fucking countered by siege? Everything's countered by siege. Fuck you! Stupid fucking decision to make this tank ass. Yes, okay, I understand the historical significance of the Burgundians units, but fuck you. That's my feeling.
Are you okay? Are you okay, Tom? Are you all right?
I've just lost to Burgundians a few times, and I'm one of those lower skilled players that can't deal with the unique unit because they kill infantry, they don't die to archers, and the only thing that kills them is a fucking mangonel. Well, I can't micro mangonels. Damn it.
Don't worry, we'll get you some coaching with King Boo and he'll sort you right out. One thing that has kind of came... Oh, I was going to say Berberville Rush would be really funny, but I think, you know...
It's the game.
Both of them exactly right, Tom.
Hey, look at us, we know what we're doing. Bulgarians.
Do you want to take away the civs and the players?
Yeah, sure. In the red, we have Scarabanga playing as the Bulgarians, as we predicted with our 10,000 IQ plays. He's on the left. We, exactly. We, totally
yes.
we. 100% we. I get to share in this glory. And then on the right-hand side, in the blue, taking a decent little baiting in with his scout, we have Yippip playing as the Japanese, as we also predicted, the royal we. And Chaos Pit, of these two civs, Japanese and Bulgarians, do you have a civ preference for this map? I mean, Japanese are a sort of catch-all, right? But Bulgarians, not a catch-all. Aggressive and also defensive civ.
Yeah, I think I probably prefer Japanese here. Maybe just slight more equal bonuses in terms of the Dark and the Feudal Age. You can refresh the buildings. You've got 2 patches of mills there. So having, you're going to get your 2 mills in there for the same price as Bulgarians, which is always nice. The food's going to be a lot simpler to use. And then you can always refresh the lumber camp as you're going through towards the outer edge as well, just for the efficiency. Yeah, I think Bulgarians with the free upgrade to man at arms is always nice for the aggression, but then Japanese have the faster attack and infantry as well. So
Yeah, I mean, so if it gets into the straight, what is that mill? what is that mill? I was trying to speak, and then Scarabanga's like, "Nah, I'm just gonna do whatever I want with my mill. It doesn't need to touch the berries."
it's a little bit of an awkward shape. Usually, if you're putting your mill up one tile away, that means you want to try and pre-wall for the man at arms coming in. But because of the hole there,
Yeah, I would have put
kind of makes it a little bit awkward.
I would have put my mill right up against it and made sure that there was at least one villager in the hole. There you go, infinite food.
Okay, Yippip knows where the wood line is. Is the villagers going to take an engagement there? On Scarabangas? Imagine if Scarabanga went for a godlike wall and then just took his free vills and just smashed them.
I mean, you'd love the high quality plays, but this is not quite where the ratings of these players are. At the same time, they're really impressing me with the overall skill set. Scarabanga, though, look at that idle TC time already. 6 minutes in. 30 seconds. Have we got loot?
Yep.
No.
Pretty much a villager then. Is he going to get that vill away? Tries to go for the quick balls.
Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, good.
Block with the villager, block with the villager! No.
We do get the Vill pick off. That is absolutely massive. Also denies the barracks for quite some time as well. Oh,
Yeah,
I would be
Yippip's
so
just gone for
tilted.
his own. Oh no, he's still not going. Okay, now he should be able to pick off the scout though. How much? Can we look at the scout HP between both of them? Okay.
I'd be tilted out of
Yippip's
my
just gonna run
damn
home.
mind. It could once again, because he's baiting the scout now. He could bait it back into his TC again, like he did earlier. Doesn't seem to be what we're doing, but he could.
Big walls coming up from
big
Scarabanga
walls.
on the wood line.
Is there
Still
a
going to
hole?
be a little bit weak to archers.
I don't think that's a hole. I think that's actually walled. I think
On the
it's
wood
just
line? No, that's definitely walled.
Yeah, tricksy, isn't it? Looks like a hole. It's not. Thanks, DE.
And Yippip's on the way up. Scarabanga is not, but if the last game's anything to go by, he won't be up for a little while yet, but we'll soon find out. He has got 400 food in the bank, so hopefully it clicks up soon, because Yippip's going to have a decent lead here, and he's got 2 militia out already. We'll see if he just goes for the 2 militia, or if he upgrades to man at arms. Usually when you have 2 militia, you do not get the upgrade, but we'll soon find out.
I mean, it's a massive amount of idle TC time between these two players.
Yeah, best part of 2 villagers there, so that is quite a bit of difference.
Yeah.
Yippip going to stone. Big time going to stone.
Japanese towers?
Could be. Pretty bog standard in Feudal Age, but as the game scales and goes on, they're pretty damn strong.
I mean, the villagers are going forward so that that immediate play is there, and because his opponent is so late up, that could be really damaging. But they get spotted by the militia, and then the militia chase them away, denying the 1 stone. That's okay. It's unfortunate that he's not denying the second. Oh, the walls.
Gonna get the walls. Nope. 23 seconds before man at arms is gonna come in as well for Scarabanga, so needs to watch out. Yeah, but as he says, no gold in the central part. It could go for a market if you had your balance correct, but wouldn't be certainly optimal.
This is going to be so fucking messy.
We'll soon find out. There is a lot of HP.
Terrible time for the engagement. The Vills weren't there to back it up.
There was also a lot of HP down on those militia before they turned into man at arms, which is not ideal. And
no, so messy.
That is going to be a big F for Scarabanga, I think, as long as Yippip does micro these villagers down, which of course don't auto attack again.
Fuck. Oh, I feel so bad for Scarabanga. He had such an advantage, but because of his Vills being sort of out of position, that's so messy. And now he's idled so much of his eco. There's so many Vills having to try and take this engagement to deny this tower. And at the same time, Yippip's just merrily doing his thing back at home, still building an economy. Not a good one, but one.
Done a good job of microing those weak villagers back, so he's not actually took too many losses, but when he sent those villagers out, he should not have tried to build his own tower. Just rush down the tower that was getting built. The villagers weren't even there at that moment. But actually deciding to commit the villagers was good, but just a little bit of misplaying, not rushing it down.
If that tower had gone up, even if it had gone up a little bit later than the first tower, it would have won in the end, right? Because it had the hill advantage.
Hill advantage doesn't... am I right in saying it does not apply to towers?
It applies to castles.
It applies to castles, but I'm pretty sure
It doesn't apply
they
for
don't
towers.
apply to towers, yeah.
That's bullshit. Towers should get a hill bonus. Makes perfect sense. Scarabanga going for a tower on a wood
just
line.
get spotted. Good job by Yippip prioritising Bitax as well. You kind of want to get it straight into Feudal Age, because getting through to the outer edge is extremely important. Big villager difference between the two players now. Idle time's pretty much the same though.
I mean, this is
Yippip,
messy.
yeah, it is messy, isn't it? It's meant to be messy. Not a big fan of that tower from Yippip, but will give them something to kind of fall back to if the second tower does get rushed down and Scarabanga's really trying to get them up.
Not going anywhere, but that tower's dead, mate.
And the towers should be dead, and also those villagers that are forward, you know, a couple of them could die. Looks like that villager's bugged inside the tower at the moment.
Yeah, thanks, DE. You hate to see it. But
And should just take that bill.
so at the same time, right, so this is Scarabanga's home map, so he's fully expecting it to be an absolute right royal shit show.
Come on, hit her! Come on!
And
Do something!
Gets the next tower up as well. I mean, fine, okay.
Look at hit her! Come on!
It's coming to finish the palisades.
For God's sakes.
The amount of idols. I mean, that tower's been a nuisance.
Oh my god, for both players, the idols is insane. And is Yippip going to be able to bash this one down as well? Yes, by the looks of it. It does have a range out for some skirms now, but will be kind of annoying. Yippip has so much stone. I think just getting some more towers on the farms here would be a pretty big nail in the coffin, actually. It's looking pretty good for Yippip at the moment. He's got control of the game, should I say. His towers are a little bit more effective on the wood line. Scarabangas haven't done too much. Ball them in, ball them in, ball them in, ball them in. Ball them in. Oh.
It was worth the attempt. It was absolutely worth the attempt. Respect
For sure.
That. What was not worth the attempt is there's another tower coming up here. That's not, and it's not being denied. It's like we've completely ignored everything going on over here on the left. Like he's only just realised, and the tower is up, and it can't be denied either.
It would be you're going to take some losses denying it, but it could have been because the villagers can't path round to garrison inside it. But yeah, you're definitely going to have to cut some losses in that one. And Yippip doesn't want these towers going up in the wood line, but he is pretty much through, I think.
Yeah, but that's it. Yippip's through, and the chopping location for Scarabanga being denied is absolutely massive. That sets him behind so far, like absolutely massively. Like the only way Scarabanga's going to go through is by going through Yippip's hole.
He can't even afford a lumber camp at this moment.
This might be a quick one.
It could be a quick one. The pop is still very good, but there's so much going on for Scarabanga in terms of going wrong. And Yippip is definitely in control of the game.
I'd love to see it. Like this is where you can fall down being the slightly lower rated player, is that just the mechanics and fundamentals of your stronger opponent can mean that you just get blocked out. And on a map where it's really unforgiving, like Chaos Pit, that can be really tough to deal with.
Yippip's through. I'd love to see him get on to gold and try and make some archers now. Or even just make a market and sell some stone. Get some gold incoming.
I mean,
archers and towers could be pretty insane.
His eco is trash. He has 4 on food.
Yep, floating a lot of wood now, 32. So I would like to see, some farms getting dropped. They're just more towers. Spend your resources. It's the best thing you can do in the game. But decent damage on the villagers here, which will weaken them quite a bit. Spearman being annoying here, which will get shot down. I don't think Scarabanga even close to getting through to the wood. I don't really think. I think he's got one patch there to the middle.
Like, and the
83
one
is
tower
not
goes down, so another tower goes
too
up.
far away. Yeah.
Can't deny it either. Like, that tower will never go up. There's a skirm there. There's... Oh, this is like Titanic Flute is playing quietly in the distance for Scarabanga.
Yeah, it's got some scouts out though. Skirms and with no fletching and virtually just tickle villagers, so not the most effective thing at denying, but will kind of stop them doing the building process, of course. Scouts do go down though, which isn't ideal by any means.
Not great. However, the Morvilles arriving is handy.
I think that defensive tower will go up, and that's going to make it a bit harder for Yippip to put his up. Just got to make sure he gets inside. Don't target the skirms. Good man. Could get 2 villagers here. Maybe even more.
They are low. They are low.
Scouts coming over. Market's up now from Yippip, so we'll see if he does balance a little bit. He's got a
Tower
ton of
goes
wood.
up. Tower goes up though.
I think that's just going to be lots of idle time for both. Scarabanga's still got 19 on wood. Where is he taking wood? Where is he taking? Is it all underneath the TXE? Looks like it, and he's actually got. Oh my god, that's a lot. That is. Oh dear, they're getting put to work. That is a long drop off.
Just a couple of idols there. You know, Scarabanga's got nine vills just chilling out, having a nap, doing whatever.
Okay, coming for the counter now. Great tower from Scarabanga. I don't know if he just like sneaked past that villager and then went for the quick walls behind it, but Yippip really needs to get his own tower up there.
The only way to get in there is to sneak in through the hole. So if anything, it might actually be worth it to take that vill and walk it all the way round to an area and just try and get yourself up to castle. Because that's the only way you're going to get a TC on the outside at the moment.
Yeah, tower's going to go up, going to be denied. This is the issue when it's only one villager. You could even have... I think if you're going to do one of these one villager towers, I think you really need to make sure you're not in the line of sight.
Yeah, it's got to be so sneaky.
Just so you can't give them an alert. Yeah.
And we lose the... like, this is over with a cherry on top. Yippip, he's got the eco now. He's got the vills. He's got the position. We're not able to do anything at all for Scarabanga. We're having to start again.
There's a big selling job. You gotta love it. He should be on the way up to Castle Age. I don't know if he's been queued. Yes, it has. So he is on the way up. He did sell a lot of stone. I feel like the Chad move would just be sell the wood, buy a little bit of food, and then drop a castle in the face when you arrive to Castle Age.
I mean, Yippip's probably just... who needs a castle when you're Japanese? Who needs it? Not the Japanese. They're like, nah, I'm going to go for my mega towers. We're going to mega tower the whole map.
Well, the thing is, Tom, you also need an eco to get to those mega towers. So
Look,
he's going to have to drop some more farms and whatnot, but yes.
You're speaking of this eco thing as if they need that. Who needs an eco when you've got hope and dreams? And I tell you who doesn't have hope and dreams right now. Scarabanga does not have hope and dreams because he doesn't have a hope or a dream of winning this game. This is done.
Koreans are pretty nice. Getting that upgrade, going into Castle Edge, get the guard tower and whatnot.
Koreans used to be so broken. Like, they were absolutely absurd. On HD, going for Korean crap towers was just the most toxic thing that you could do. And anybody that did it was a dickhead. So I did it loads.
Peak gamering, that's what that is. That spearman looks like he's bugged inside. You got to make sure you're doing the ungarrison to a certain point. But if you just garrison and have the flag outside, he should be able to get break free. But right now he is not in a good place. I've been there. I know how it feels.
If anything, he seems like he's in a really safe place. It's the one place on the map that he can't be killed.
I know, but he also can't contribute, you know what I mean? So he's having to stare at that scout and watch his building go down, and he can't do anything about it.
He's like... me and the rest of society, not contributing, but just being there. My guy.
Now, triple stable from Yippip, which might just be a little bit too much considering 8 on gold.
Going for full light cav.
Could do that as well. I wouldn't mind it. Just military at this point would be fantastic, but he's not going to be able to afford a lot of knights. And there we go, then the scouts will take him out. Revenge!
Oh no, he dies!
Revenge!
Harold! You were such a beautiful, speary human being.
Just a couple of knights plus 2 armor and the wood line. That's going to take out a lot of villagers. And Scarabanga has 0 military on the field. Absolutely 0. And he's going for the panic houses there. But don't worry, the knights are distracted.
And this is such a lock-in for Yippip. Yippip says that he hates this map, but does he really? Because it doesn't look like it. It's been messy, but he's played it well. And it hasn't really looked like Scarabanga's had much of a chance since early feudal.
Yeah, and to be honest, for the gameplay, it wasn't very obvious that he hated it, but now Yippip has alerted all of his opponents that he now hates the map, so of course everyone will be picking it in future sets against them.
I think that's a sensible choice, but Scarabanga actually does manage to click up to castle. Amazing. Stubbornness right there. That is pure stubbornness.
Well, a little bit. It's going to take a lot of eco to get to full pikeman play, which he's probably going to have to go for here. Doesn't have any gold access, so monks are totally out of the question. Yippip did get that second TC down. I wonder if he's going to commit to a third one here. He's back on to stone. Like I said, a castle here would be pretty damn nice. And these knights are just, hey, let me in.
Oh, hey guys. Hey.
Scarabanga's going to get through here, and he has enough stone to make 2 TCs with Bulgarians, of course. Only cost 50 stone, so he could make 2 TCs on the outside if he wanted. Picking off some villagers here, though.
The light cav have definitely got their worth. The walling up has been pretty good for Scarabanga. If it had been... they get in.
No, no.
Oh, no.
If we don't have a reaction here, this should be the game clincher.
The GG, yeah.
Because we're watching, just look at the villager numbers. Oh my god, look at the villager numbers for Scarabanga. It was at 40, like a minute ago. It's going to keep on going down.
He was so close to getting through as well.
There's also a knight in light cav waiting on the other side
they're
blocking. 25 villagers to 63 now. That is definitely the game. GG.
Titanic flute for days. Do 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 do.
Yikes. And that puts Yip up 2-0 up then.
Comfortable. You said you favoured the Japanese for this. I think you were right.
Wow. Thank you, Tom.
Happy to say that once again you were right, bringing the knowledge into this.
Look at the KD, man. That feels bad, and a lot of that did come in the last 2 minutes. Don't get me wrong, but 68 to 18 is pretty insane, and you can see the eco there. Japanese just have a little bit better eco. Obviously, there's still some individual play does come down to it as well, but Japanese can go into those berries a lot easier. They can make the mining camps. Little savings all add up. I do like them for this. Bulgarians I do like as well, though. Don't get me wrong, I do like Bulgarians as well.
It was just so unfortunate. I think we started a bit of a negative spiral the moment that we lost the man-at-arms. By that first tower, but by that really crap engagement. And it wasn't necessarily crap that he played himself. It was just really unfortunate timing. Because they landed at a good spot, but because the villagers were just not quite there to back them up, they got absolutely clobbered and weren't able to contribute.
And lost a lot of HP on them as well before they were man-at-arms, which is really not nice for your militia, which you're getting for free, and that's something you do have versus a Japanese player.
I kind of feel like if you're gonna get that click up with Bulgarians, you're gonna get the man-at-arms. It's worth it to make more than 2. Like 3 or 4, that wouldn't have happened. They
You would think so.
would have had the support.
You would definitely think so.
But I do like swordsmen. Swordsy boys are my favourite things, so I am biased.
I wonder if we'll ever get a Goths on Chaos Pit.
It's so tough for Goths to get to the point where they can actually start to be aggressive with their massive infantry. And I don't think Chaos Pit tends to be a map where they can really do that. They can get a bit of that. It's like they're okay in Feudal, but they have such a fall off in early Castle Age that I think that Chaos Pit ends up being a map that they would really struggle on.
I'm thinking more Dark Age in terms of maybe putting a villager forward and layman a little bit and going for multiple militia. Like that could be.
That's true. Going for the hardcore lames. Because how many shots does it take for a Goth villager to kill a boar? Like 2?
It's not
3?
a lot. You just do a little wall in with your villager. Just start shooting. You can also just have your scout there start shooting some deer if you wanted. I wouldn't be against some Socotra like playing on Chaos Pit. I'm sure some people have got that up their sleeve.
Gold Rush next though. And
thank God it's not Golden Pit. Do you know what they call Golden Pit?
No.
It's really not imaginative. Golden shit.
I see.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I hate Gold Rush. Just straight up hate Gold Rush. It will be on my perma ban list. I'd rather play nearly every other map than Gold Rush. And I used to like Golden Pit, but only because back then I really liked playing the Britons, and Golden Pit was a Britons. It was just the best. Not so much.
And Burgundians. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think this is necessarily a great map for Burgundians.
Just a bit of a surprise for me when you had Tatars on the board, but obviously Yippip must feel a little bit more comfortable with Burgundians. It was his second pick civilization, so maybe wants to also experiment with something here. You got to keep in mind he's 2-0 up.
I think it is more likely that Yippip went, oh, wait, fuck, I forgot to pick a civ for this map. I used it already. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't think Tatars are too bad. I don't think Tatars are too bad, to be honest. But Burgundians, I'm not sure. You gotta guess your opponent's going for Berbers, and Berbers, quite a common pick on a Gold Rush. They're very good, get onto that 1TC, free stables if you can, spam those knights, and oh boy, it's beautiful stuff. And it's very important you get a kind of early control in Castle Age, because you do have a big pile of gold. A big pile of gold right in the middle of this map, and gold control is going to be very, very important.
Interesting map gen for Scarabanga, with the sort of the thin line of wood at the back. It just very, very pretty. With the little line. It's very, very wallable as well. That's one thing that's going for Gold Rush, that he can be pretty safe with a safe gold at the back. So certainly for the early game, he's not going to be too bad. I think he will also eventually find all of his sheep. So, no,
looks like it.
Actually, your Pip's base is pretty good as well. He's also got a safe gold, and potentially, depending on how he walls, a safe stone. But
not loving that stone to the right. Yeah. I mean, the Gold Rush usually isn't the most difficult map to wall. You can use the biggest issue is always going to be having the space to the front of your TC. Scarabangas looks really nice. You can just wall to the edge of the map, and he's got safe gold, safe stone, pretty safe berries as well.
Yes, pretty thick wood line at the kind of the front left of his base as well. So that's healthy. Even though that's technically at the front, you're not really going to get pushed off that unless it's with towers. So yeah, you'd be fine. Though, what is this wall? What? No, don't wall there. Don't wall.
Yes.
Don't wall there. That's in your base. Wall at the front of it. Don't wall at the.
It's a second layer of security. Come on, lay off. It's a second layer of security for later on in the game.
Yeah, he's scared of the void. Scared of the void on the outside. There's scariness out there. I'm not surprised. Oh, I've got to watch out for the spooky ghosts.
That is one thing to know about Gold Rush. You can generally, in most of the map gens, you can wall to the edge of the map, and it will save you a little bit on the wall, and you won't have to wall the backside, and you can just kind of wall in front of the TC.
Yes.
Yippip said he didn't pick the Tars because they're directly counted by Berbers. I mean, yes, if they get to Cam Archers, that would be the biggest issue. But CA against Knights always going to feel good, and I can see why being scared of Cam Archers would be a bit of an issue.
Is there also Genitors?
Janitors are trash. They are trash.
They are trash.
That's why they're called janitors, because they have to pick up trash all day.
But they will do quite well against Cav Archers and be able to chase them down. It's probably the one matchup where the strongest options for the Tatars get countered by some of the worst options for the Berbers.
Yeah, I don't mind just having light cav and having some CA though.
Yeah.
Janitors are stupid expensive as well.
Fast crossbow with thumb ring? Hell yeah. It's a great option.
Yep.
Just go crossbows. Crossbows are so cracked, certainly at this level as well. Like a massive crossbows is just dirty. So strong. Decent lure there in for Yippip. Gets it under the TC. He's not a 700 rated player. Not quite as good a push for his ostrich though. Under the TC.
Yippip's got free militia on the way. Can we take a look at the middle and the gold? So usually in Gold Rush you do have wolves, which you need to be very careful with in terms of your militia, right? Because the wolves will attack them, and you really don't want to arrive at your opponent's base with like 50% off HP of one of your militia, or potentially even two of them. So really important you kind of scout that forwards. If you're going to go through the middle, or you avoid, or you try and avoid the hill and just go right round the edge. But Yippip's going right through the middle, straight out the frying pan into the fire.
He might dodge them, you know. He might actually go around. Has Yippip actually found Scarabanga?
I'm gonna guess no.
No.
And this is what happens when you push deer. You give it up for scouting. So they're going on a journey, man. They're going on a journey.
These militia are so dead. Like they're
Unless it's a wolf rush.
That's a move.
But you usually only invest one militia for the wolf rush. We'll soon find out. They're gonna get woo-woo-wooed. Yippip has a bit of a history of getting woo-woo-wooed.
Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom.
Yeah, I casted a lot of there's a tournament going way back. It was all golden based maps, and I seen a lot of this. You know, players going for the militias, pushing deer, not knowing where the opponent is, and then they got absolutely zero value out of the militia, which is gonna happen to Yippip right now. Both of them gonna go down, and you know that's an investment to get there. Gold and food down the drain.
You can see that he's sort of tried to drag the wolves towards his opponent's eco, but unfortunately, because he didn't know where his opponent was, he's just dragged them the opposite way. It's quite funny. Oh well, I think it was worth a shot. And we'll loses a vill at home as well.
Yeah, good play by Scarabanga.
Revenge from the last map.
And Yippip's eco is pretty fucking whack right now, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty damn whack. Nearly got 900 food, still in Dark Age. Not ideal by any means. We don't have the eco upgrades from Burgundians either, which they actually cost 50% less food, so if you've got the wood, definitely get them. But nothing as of yet.
I mean, clearly he was going for a drush, so the late click up is expected, but like not this expected, right?
No. And I think no eco upgrades is a little bit of a misplay. This is one of the big benefits of going for Burgundians, right? You know, it's something that they get and nobody else can do, and if you can work that out, definitely something you should be doing. And it's you know, it doesn't cost a lot of food. Not at all. And if you're 12 minutes 30 into the game, there'd be no harm in doing it already.
I guess that is definitely something that I'd not considered with the Burgundians, that you could go for that drush play, and then as you were getting your click up, you get your eco upgrades, so you land in feudal age, later, but with a much, much stronger eco.
Yeah, or you just have them, or you just have a set build, and you go for them super early on. It's not unusual for players to actually get the Bitax nearly as soon as they go for the lumber camp. So
Wow.
super early on, and that makes a massive boost to your early eco. Because wood is everything. Wood is everything at this stage of the game. That's a lot of farms.
Scarabanga, he's got the control, he's got the scouts out. He's
Macro's looking good. Yeah.
I mean, he's got a full minute of idle TC time over his opponent, but fine, whatever. We don't judge.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. The eco's looking solid behind it. Double lumber camp as well. Does he have horse collar? He does. So those farms won't be expiring anytime soon, depending on timing of horse collar, of course. But Scout's eco is always a lovely thing to do. It transitions really well into Castle Age. And I would just be expecting some knights when he gets to Castle.
Which is admittedly what Yippip's going to do. He's going to be like a stable blacksmith, immediate click up, right?
Yeah.
But he's not got the wood.
He's not got the wood. He does have the wood for the stable. And wood's going to be a bit of an issue, actually, because he's still going to need a lot more farms if he wants to go for knights or cavalier.
I hate Scarabanga's walling for his base. I do. I hate it.
Yeah, if there's a benefit, at least he's not really getting any pressure right now, which is one thing at least.
It's true. And, some walls are better than no walls. Like, any amount of walling, better than no walling.
Exactly, exactly.
I really hope that if this does go a little bit later than early Castle Age, when he's at the point of getting the second TC, I really hope he expands those walls to the edge of the map, just to reduce the chance of raiding and to give him some safe farming space.
I think I'd really prefer for Scarabanga to go for the 1 TC and just try and stream knights. Or, if knights are coming out from Yippip, I'm adding in some camels as well. I think that's what I'd be preferring. And wheelbarrow and up by the looks of it. So looking pretty standard. Really nice farming eco. Really, really nice.
Really solid all round for Scarabanga. Compare that to Yippip, who's going to hit Castle Age and he's got 8 on food, so we can't actually make anything.
Gonna be able to make a couple. Good. 500 gold now, so that's a lot in the bank. Does have bow saw as well, so that will be good for getting the farms down. Probably just start dragging some villagers off and getting them put down. Scarabanga on the way up. There's going to be about 2 minutes difference between the players, so a little bit of a window here for Yippip to get something done.
Oh. Oh, I'm back. I sort of lost everything there. Oh no. What? Twitch is gone for me. Discord's gone for me.
Yeah. Twitch is frozen. One's in chat if you can hear us. I think we had a small F for a couple of seconds. It was OBS freezing, but we should be back. Didn't really miss too much, did we, guys?
No, we didn't. We saw the beautiful landing of Castle Age and then the immediate click up of Cavalier, which is, that's a choice. And we're about to land for Scarabanga.
Looks like it. Of course, Burgundians don't get bloodlines, so Cavalier does make up the difference in that. Gets you up to 120 HP, and you do get the 2 extra attack as well, so which is kind of nice. It is nice for these Castle Age engagements. Cavalier takes so much fucking time though. Pin in the backside.
Such a weird civ. But because he got it nice and early, it's not worked out too bad for Yippip, and both of them are in Castle Age. There is an equivalent eco now, other than the fact that there's 0 on gold for Yippip.
Scarabanga straight onto camels though. Straight onto camels, and he's got bloodlines, he's got the forging.
I mean,
let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. And 2 TCs for both players.
Are Castle Age camels the right choice against Cavalier?
I think in decent numbers, you should be absolutely fine.
Because they're only just like you've got to be in decent numbers. If you have less numbers than the Cavalier win, right?
They should do all right, but you know, camels do get a lot of bonus damage. It's really going to depend on the production, and the production is looking a little bit better for Scarabanga here. He's had a lot more farms for longer, so he's banked up a lot more food. Whereas Yippip's only just started to get some farms down, and you can see he's only 5 Cavalier out, and there's 7 camels out. And of course, Berber's stables do produce faster as well.
Oh god, all of those animals that they're going, no, I hate your Knightsy boys. Animal cruelty, though. Yippip, you absolute bastard.
And engagements underneath the TC also in the hill, so that's a lot of HP down. Does go back to the hill, though.
And gets surrounded and loses half the HP to the TC. That was just... Oh, feels bad. Man, it feels so bad. Oh, you.
Yeah, that was a lot of HP down the drain, and the Leopard's trying to get involved in the action here. Will be chasing. They will be chasing for a while. Iron casting coming in for Yippip, which is massive when you're going against camels. You really do want to prioritize some attack upgrades there. Not as big for camels because most of the damage is bonus damage, but every little does help.
Look at this though. Instead of going for the 1 TC, we're going full 3 TCs for Scarabanga.
I think he's probably pretty happy after the damage he just got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I took a good trade. Let's try and get a little bit of a lead now in terms of economy.
This is the first time that the aggro is really properly directed at Yippip. Like, actually at his base. Even in the hideout game, it never really threatened him.
No. Camels are showing that they're not very good at breaking through walls. That is one thing with their low base attack. They really do struggle. And even if they do get in, they're really underwhelming raiding unit. But Iron Casting makes them 6+2, so they will do a little bit better. But you can just see the cavalry are going to melt villagers so much faster.
Beautiful denial there. And we do have still a very slight village. It's just so many chasing animals.
It was just 2 villagers in the lead there. Now it's down to 7. So Yippip pulling it forwards now. Beautiful stuff. The wall-offs and his home base are pulling through. It's getting very compact, the Yippip's home base, I must say. Spear's been added now from Scarabanga as well, by the looks of it.
I mean, the stone walls they're pretty solid. They're going to stop any major worries.
Stone walls are one of the most underrated, I don't know if underrated is the right word, but underutilized things in the game. But when you see like professionals, they like use it. They'll stonewall like fucking major tournaments to secure things, but it's crazy. You know, it's such a habit of players to go for like 2 TCs or not mind the extra stone or whatnot. But stonewalls can be so effective at just defending your base and securing your eco.
You know what else is pretty effective at securing your base?
What's that?
Pikes.
Pikes would be alright, especially when you're just going cavalry versus cavalry, but it's always one thing is having supporting units, and Yippip is going to make that switch.
And he's got the wood, he's got the food. I think it's a pretty good swap. It would be nice if people were going to start thinking about some kind of expansion towards
the gold,
having some control of gold. Like, nobody's on stone yet, particularly. I mean, there's 3 on stone for Scarabanga, I guess. So eventually we'll have a castle. Eventually.
Oh, pardon me. I like that Yippip's been more proactive, though. He's the one that's going to make that switch to pike. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. There's decent numbers there for the Cavalier. Yep. I'd like to see Yippip just expand a little bit more. You can see how much wood he's floating now. The stone, he's really compacted his base and he's struggling to expand at this moment. And it's really reflected in his wood count. Whereas Scarabanga does have a decent amount of wood in the bank too, a little bit less of course, but his eco and his home base is just that much better. He's already started to move out. Monastery coming in, which is
Monastery's
fantastic
great.
in cavalry engagements. And these Jaguars, man. These fucking Jaguars.
I didn't think Jaguars actively went for cavalry.
Yes. Yeah, they do. Just not scouts. Just not scouts.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go for the big armored dude. That makes loads of sense. Fucking AI, man.
That is
Oh,
open.
oh,
+2 Cavalier. They're going to
oh,
run straight
oh.
past. Hello, see you later. And going to have a lot of idle time now. Wood lines they're completely open at the back. I don't know if Yippip knows there's villagers there. I think if I'm on the line of sight, I'm starting to look for the lumber camp, split up the Cavalier.
Is it
damage
worth?
she can, but the
worth it?
camels are back now. They're going to get backed in, and they should be.
Yeah, we've trapped.
They're going to be all
We've
dead.
trapped the Cavalier. We've killed a single villager, maybe two, and we've lost our entire army. Terrible, terrible engagement. It's like if we'd have dived in, pushed over to the back wood line, or did a full loop of the base, maybe. But we just lost the entire military for nothing. That's so.
Yes,
That's
not
so
ideal.
bad.
Not ideal. I think if you're going to dive in and commit there, you need to get your damage in pretty pronto. And 50 TC from Scarabanga. What a boomer.
Absolute boomer. God, you're gonna ruin the planet like this, Scarabanga. Gonna ruin the planet. Don't do it. Look at that, outposts all the way around as well. That's gonna be some dead vills. Like that is gonna be some dead vills. Pikemen, get some good hits there.
Yeah, Pike Switch is going to be massive fear. We'll just see if Scarabanga does react to it, or if he just keeps making camels, which would not be the ideal response. That villager done a great job of killing that Jaguar, but she's going to get hunted now by 20 men with pointy sticks.
No, what would have been a good civ for this map? Goths. Absolutely. Goths going full villagers forward. They would have been fine.
Goths are a good civ in any map. Absolute scenes. Okay, both players expanded out to the golden. Fletching coming in from Scarabanga. Seen a couple of ranges coming up, and it's going to be camels and pikemen by the looks of it. And Yippips.
Pike Siege.
Yippips. Yeah. Yippip's already getting the Siege Workshop up, which will be good for the skirms that are undoubtedly going to come out very soon. No janitors. I'm sorry.
No, it's so unfortunate. How dare they? I just want Scarabanga to get his genitals out. You know, that's all we're asking. We sat here on stream going, Scarabanga, where's your genitals? And once again, it's been denied.
See.
Nobody had the option to pick Goths, but you had the option to pick Goths in your Civ selections.
In the draft, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody had the chance. They had ample opportunities. I think 6 of them.
It is so much gold for Scarabanga. Like, oh my god, that's so much gold.
Yeah, he's got to get to amp ASAP with those kind of resources. Get a couple of upgrades. At this point, no, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. You maybe want to have a castle and be going for some trebs. Or just going for Imperial Age upgrades on your skirms that you're undoubtedly going to have. You're going to take that mangonel for free. Yep.
And
Even might get some good damage on the villagers here. Pikemen out of the place.
did we? I have no clue what on earth was going on with that engagement from both players. Like, both.
That was a good one for Scara. He's like totally avoided the pikemen until still avoided them.
Yeah,
it's a good job. Yeah, good job.
And the skirms now sort of delay their castle as long as possible. I do think it will go up because it is so darned close.
Berber's archers are honestly underrated. They're very rarely seen though, aren't they? Oh my god.
Is it Berbers don't get Arbalest, right?
No, they don't. Yippip, he's not sure if he has Loom right now. Can you click on the villager, Grandy? Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god! No!
It's a little bit of a concern, isn't it?
Yippip!
Sheesh. Why is my castle not going? Why are these villagers dying so fast? Oh. Oops.
Loom is for noobs. That's what Loom is.
Oh, sheesh.
Still a decent engagement. Denies the TC in the middle. It's a bold TC. Like that's a better spot for a castle, to be honest, than a TC.
Yeah, you'd think so. Scarabanga's got a lot of resources right now, and he's still not quite up to Imperial Age, man. You gotta spend your res. Look at the queue as well, it's insane, but he's gotta get Imperial Age, and Yippip's already on the way, so he's gonna have a head start there. Castle already up, of course.
Yeah, no
Trebs.
castle down. Like,
Trebs are gonna be really important.
Yippip's still dragging his ass back in. Problem is that at the moment he's just full pike, right?
Yeah.
And now with the massive skirms that are on the field, that's not good enough right now.
Not at the moment, but just a siege push from the castles will be great, because the castles are going to be able to range quite a bit. You can just sit the Trebs underneath the castle, take out the other TCs, you can start taking out the production buildings with Scarabanga, and the Trebs shouldn't really go down because they're going to be well protected. Not a great eco from Yippip. I'm just looking at the numbers up top. 24 on food, 17 on gold. Like I said, his base is very compact. It's very, very compact. He's not expanded to a great deal.
I think he's only really just managed to get that kind of extra wood line to the left-hand side of his base up as well, so...
Yeah, the eco doesn't really support what he wants to do here.
He will throw down more farms as, like... very, very soon, but he's just not had the wood to do it, so...
A couple of Trebs would, just a couple of Trebs would be nice to start applying some pressure. That would be something.
Do Castiliers do okay against camels because of their relatively high charge damage?
The high charge part is of course good, but then it starts to feel a little bit underwhelming afterwards.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of these things. Largely, it's going to be down to the numbers.
Right.
But yeah, Castilia, like, they do really well when they're like going up against units in like small numbers, and they can just melt little pockets of troops. But you're going to have to run away to get the charge up again.
What, Oneville Castle?
A one-ville castle that probably has less than 25 HP.
Oh, there we go. There's extra vills there.
Yeah, 53 HP.
He's still getting it up! He's still there!
Ah, boo!
Oh,
that is doubt, but it will go up eventually. Scarabanga going on to heavy camel here. Plate coming in as well. His production queue is unbelievable. He has a lot. Maybe need some more building slap down. How many does he have? Can we get a double quick? Yep, 3 ranges, 4 stables. 4 stables with Berbers is obviously better than anybody else because he was just so fast, but would like some more.
No, there's just not a huge amount of wood down actually for Scarabanga. Probably because of the massive skirms that he's having to go for.
Production queue looking a lot better for him. So as long as he doesn't trickle in too many units, starts adding some Trebs, apply some pressure, it's going to be quite a bit for Yippip to overturn here, I think. It's starting to be reflected in the score.
Okay, hear me out. Right, Yippip, he's only got 100 vills. He's in him. What he needs to do is get up to 150, 200 vills, right? Just keep cranking, go Flemish militia, and they will kill absolutely everything that Scarabanga is currently making.
Yeah, to be honest, it's not a bad get out of jail card. It really is not. The issue is getting all that eco to that point, but for sure. If you can like hold of these 2 castles and start spamming as many villagers as you can, like his village numbers are very good. The one thing that's letting down Yippip now is his military numbers are absolute ass. Like it's 53 to 8. And
they are trash.
Yeah, it's really not good.
But look at how exposed Scarabanga's eco is. Like that is so open. Like he could just be spamming nuisance in back there, and Scarabanga would be up shit creek without a paddle.
Yeah, I mean likewise for Scarabanga though as well, right? Yippip's totally open in the left-hand side, and he could be spamming in some units. But it's kind of a little bit passive right now. A little bit passive.
He's got the control of the middle, so he feels like he can afford it.
Yeah.
I want Yippip to be going full champion.
Full champ?
Yep, full champ.
Full infantry? I mean,
Yep.
we're talking about Goths, come on.
It's just all I ever want. I just want to see some infantry in my life. God damn it.
Pike here now with Bracer and Chemistry Skirms already out in the field. We need to get a good mass of them to really do a lot of damage. We do have another 33 Skirms in the queue.
It's amazing.
Scarabanga is going to be 200 pop before we know it. Sorry.
Yippip is going for all the upgrades. He's going to upgrade everything. There's no upgrade that he's not going for. You're just missing ballistics, and then that's everything. All of the he can transition to whatever he wants. I tell you what, he's transitioning into though. He's transitioning into a bit of a loss at this point. Lost the castle to the left, losing the castle to the right, losing the fights in the middle, losing the vills. Like, this is looking really dire for Yippip.
Yeah, just he doesn't have military, and you need, at this point of the game, when you're 50 minutes into the game, to have some sort of control in the game, you need to have military, and there isn't any of it. And he's still super open everywhere else, so it wouldn't be difficult for Scarabanga just to like send in some Hussar or whatnot, or even just light cav at this point. But these trebs, the push isn't necessarily slow, but it is taking some time to develop for Scarabanga. I'd like to see just a little bit more activity with the military.
So close to being at pop cap though.
Yeah, and Yippip's getting close to that number, but he's going to be under 100 very, very soon. He's got 3 military on the field, Tom. 3!
Just... Flemish militia, damn it! Flemish militia!
After all of those upgrades as well. After getting all of the upgrades.
He just doesn't have the eco for anything. As we were saying in the last game, it's like as soon as you're rocking down to sort of no eco in the bank at all, and your production queue is pretty empty, this is the point where you're looking at the game and going, do I actually have a way of coming back into this?
It doesn't look likely. It does
like
not look likely.
300 point difference between these two players as well. Pressure at the front of the base. I think Scarabanga has played this so well.
Yeah, it should be game here. There's not a lot of production in the line for Yippip, but when he get 8 Hussar, even he's got 50 on food right now, but his resources don't look hot. Totally off of gold now. We've got heavy camo already for Scarabanga, so Hussar are not going to be something that's going to be able to do too much damage, and I would be expecting a GG in the next minute or so.
Less than that, 30 seconds. Because there are no TCs, there's no position, there is just death. Oh, look at it.
There is a lot of death right now.
There is a lot of death. R.I.P. Yippip. There it is. Oof, there it is. Game 3 was a banger for Scarabanga.
Oh god.
Yeah. I love that. That was a great game. What a great series. And I'm really happy that Scarabanga managed to get one map out of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's always difficult. It's playoff 3, of course. It's going to be difficult if you're 2-0 down and then having to try and get a win in the third game. Because mindset-wise, it can be challenging if you're just lost 2. And it's also difficult for the winner of the previous 2 to go into that mindset and feel like they have to. It's probably very common to be 2-0 up and feel like, okay, the set's done, but of course there's a reward for winning 3-0. Yeah. But yeah, it's the playoff 3 gives a little bit of an extra dynamic to everything.
And it can genuinely really, really matter because it means that it's more of a points thing instead of it just being a standard, oh, you lost your 2-0. Well, if Scarabanga manages to get some 3-0 wins and Yippip doesn't, that could be really big. Oh, that's my
Yeah.
face. Bum, 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 bum.
But GG's. I mean, it was an impressive performance from Yippip in the first two games. Scarabanga gets a game in the last one as well. Very well done. Very well done.
Yeah, should be happy with that. We're going to take a short 5-minute break so we can restock some sanity, and then we'll be back sort of immediately after for some more fun. So catch you all in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Now.